Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so on my little walk here, figured I'd do my first therapy session like this in a long time. Long time meaning like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today. This has been a good day. I've just had really not a whole lot to do other than consider my issues and problems. So what I've been doing is throwing myself into my channel instead. As you guys have probably seen the millions of videos I've done. I don't know why this is, but content is not difficult for me when it comes to this basketball thing, coming up with things to talk about in the off season. Because a lot of times there's so many different team building concepts that are available to kind of either dream up or talk about with the hints and the various different stories that are going around. As a creative, I can just kind of talk about anything and come up with something, just, and it just allows for me to kind of do what comes naturally to me. And build this craft, this basketball talking head craft that I got right now. So it's just easy. It's almost like a stress relief, so to speak, having an opportunity to do what it is that you do and it not really even feel like work, And that's what it's been for me throughout this last week and a half. Just taking the content as it comes my way and then just talking about stuff as it comes naturally to me, since I'm so passionate about the conversation. So, that's really where I think I've been filled whole, so to speak. Even though things have been as they've been, the NBA has given me plenty enough to keep me distracted and thus keep me working. So that's what it is. Just trying to soak up as much of that as I can, throw myself into that as I normally did and do, rather. Let it do what it does for the channel. So that's where I've been at mentally, working on this and enjoying it the whole time, and kind of just dealing with the problem that I got with the living situation in small increments, dealing with it, applying for something here, applying for something there, walking away. I'm not overindulging myself or throwing myself at the problem like I think a normal person would, and it's just because I don't really handle the stress very well. Start thinking about other things rather than fixing the problem, but how to escape the problem. And so just by way of that thinking, I end up organically escaping the problem, throwing myself into the channel, doing the NBA stuff, etc., instead of actually being as productive in the area that I need to be. You know what I mean? But that's a product of my conditioning, what I'm used to, That's what I've allowed myself to grow up to become. And a person who doesn't necessarily deal with the stress, but finds very effective ways of avoiding it and just kind of living with the consequences. And that's not a good way to live. I wouldn't suggest it for most. I'd say not to. Excuse me. I'd say not to. Try to get the help necessary if it's necessary, so that you can address those issues. And that way you can do what it is you love to do, and it won't be a coping mechanism. It won't be something that doesn't necessarily benefit your plan or take away from what it is that would ultimately help you. It's not a waste of time, so to speak, but rather something that can really be beneficial to you. So that's what I'm saying. Trying to get it so that what I'm doing isn't just an escape, but rather a means of making things happen. And maybe I couldn't manifest any other way, just like a lot of professionals do. So, just continue to stay consistent. I think that's what it is. I think the last month I was kind of distracted, allowing myself to stay away from what would ultimately make me most productive. And I think in that process, I found myself not necessarily as healthy physically, eating not as well, and losing energy, not feeling like working out. And the workout, when I would push myself to do it, wouldn't necessarily be strong, I wouldn't have it. I felt as old as I am. And that's not what I've conditioned myself to feel, to be completely and utterly honest with you. I've conditioned myself to at least be healthy. I eat in ways that don't allow for me to really take in too much that ain't healthy. My body don't allow me to any damn way, so it's not like I'm taking too much credit from it. But the point is, I put in a lot of work to ensure that I at least feel normal every day. And so when the stress hits and takes me out of that routine, the stress hits and throws me on a loop to where I'm not able to keep my routine with eating and things like that, it's easy for me to start feeling sick, because my body ain't conditioned for that anymore. The type of eating that people do every day, I've been so monotonous for a good several years, not really switching my diet up at all. Workout habits consistent, and so it's like any little deviation from that, it's an adjustment that is very uncomfortable. So just gotta embrace for more of the same. As life changes and I have to move around, get back to doing things like normal humans do, and don't get a chance to focus on my wellness like most regular working individuals have to really do, to keep going. So for me, the trick is to balance myself out and start doing things that need to be done the right way, so that I can have that foundation, So that's what it is for me. Standing here, getting ready to go to my favorite little market down the street now, the Dollar Tree, and get all my little food that I need to get. Funny thing is, I'm coming from the mailbox because California sent me my SARS. And what's SARS? No, it's not a deadly disease. It's the more or less the update on what you've been up to in regards to them giving you the benefits that they give you if you're broke out here. Like food, for example, food stamps. This is them asking you every 6 months or so if anything's changed in your living situation or what have you. Problem is, in their bright minds, they decided they were going to do this right before the holidays. Right before the holidays, they were going to say that this thing needed to be sent in by the 5th. The thing didn't show up until the 6th. So naturally, today's the 7th, I'm able to send it in. But the deadline obviously was skipped, and I don't know if it was done on purpose. I don't know. Obviously, I would imagine it wasn't, but just by sheer default, I missed the deadline. A deadline I definitely wouldn't have missed. So hopefully they take that into account, and hopefully I'm not the only case like this. But so my benefits are not on right now. They're not going to replenish my benefits for this month because of that stupid thing that they did. Like I said, I'm not sure if they did it on purpose or not. It's an easy way to ease yourself away from a certain amount of money that you have to pay for a certain time. I mean, of course, you'll make up for it, but it gives you a couple seconds to not have to pay it at that moment. And we know time is money. So I don't doubt that it's possible that was done on purpose. But nevertheless, I ain't going to assume that. It's time for me to walk in the Dollar Tree. I'll let you, BDF 44. Thank you all for watching.